Hi everyone, my name is Don. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this little crochet turtle. So this is a really simple piece consisting of 5 different pieces attached to a main shell. I used 2 colors and essentially only used the basic single crochet stitch. I also made the eyes myself, which I'm going to be showing you at the end. And in total this piece took me about 2-3 hours, so it's a relatively small and short piece compared to the other ones I've made. Just to be clear, this isn't a tutorial where I'm going to be showing you exactly the number of stitches I do or the number of increases and decreases so that you can reproduce the exact same piece. This is really a video just to show a walkthrough of the creative process I go through when I make one of these from scratch. I don't use patterns or templates. I do inspire myself from things I find online, but I try to make it as much as my own as I can. Without further ado, let's jump into it. Alright, so I start out with a magic loop with 6 single crochets inside. I'm using a 3mm crochet, which is the smallest one I have. I don't know the letter, but it is quite small and allows me to control the size of the final piece because each row is smaller than it would be with a bigger crochet. I always use a 3mm for everything I do. So I sped things up a little, but I typically just start off how any piece would start off as, really just increasing in a flat way. So not doing a single row of crochet in between each increase. And I increased to about, I think, I'm not sure about the total, but it ends up being 6 single crochets and a double crochet, or maybe 7. But I really just look at it and see what it turns out as. It always is going to bow a little and make a little semicircle, but in this case obviously it's something that I want because I'm making the shell of the turtle, and I'm looking at the size in the end. So when I'm happy with that, I'm going to start doing a back loop only row. So back loop only means that you're only using the back loop in the single crochets and not the 2 loops. This allows it to give this a little edge, and so that it's a bit sharper on the shell, and that I want the bottom to be a bit shorter. So that's what I'm doing right now. So when that's done, I'm just going to decrease it in a typical fashion, leaving about 1 inch to start stuffing. I don't do a too small of a circle at the end to do the stuffing, just because I find that it's easy to close regardless, and it closes pretty fast, so you want to make sure you don't close off before you stuffed, which I've done many times in the past. And once that's done, I just cut everything off. Here I'm just showing how I close things off. I kind of just put it into a needle and then loop the last row through the center hole many times, just so that it creates this nice finish at the end, and it doesn't look too bare. Sometimes when you close off, things can look very bare. And here I'm just pulling everything through so that when I cut it flush, it'll kind of get lost in there and I don't have any bits poking out. If you cut things really flush and don't leave it inside, things can be just poking a little bit out in terms of details. So for the head, I kind of did the same thing, a little disc. I'm looking to see the size that I want. I think that was okay. It was about 4 single crochets and before a double crochet for the last increase. Then I'll make it really long, and then I decrease just a little, I think about one decrease to make the neck, and then I will stuff it. And I try to just stuff the head so that the neck is kind of laying flat just like that. And I think I'm happy with that, so I'm gonna decrease it just a little and then close it off. Same thing with the foot. I think I did just the 6 basic stitches through the magic loop and then a double crochet in each of those stitches to make a total of 12, and then I did probably 5 or 6 single crochet rows or until I was satisfied with the height of them, and tried to have all 4 the same height. I'm placing them to see how that would look, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Sometimes I have to redo them, make them smaller, make them bigger so that it fits my liking, but I was really happy, so I went ahead with the final assembly. Here I'm just showing how, again, I try to lose things inside of it. So when I finish stitching things together, I'll pull it through and do it like that, because I found that when I cut things short, it would kind of have that little end that was poking out, which isn't satisfying. So again, here I try to make everything symmetric, stitching everything at the same level on the same side so that left and right are the same and top and bottom are the same, and I'm always just checking to see how it would look. And I was pretty happy with it, because sometimes I'll even undo it and sew it back, because it's not always easy to make everything symmetrical. Moving on to the eyes, I just use a glue gun on a little piece of wax paper, and I do these little dots at different sizes until I find two identical of the right size and the right shape that I want. It's quite simple. You kind of just do it like a little Hershey's Kiss on you know, and how they make the chocolate. You dip it up, and then it'll kind of, because it's hot, it'll melt down and make a semicircle. So I found two of those that I liked, and then I just take a Sharpie, really color them in really nice completely, and then I'll peel them off and then try them on to the little doll to see where I like the positioning and if I like the shape or not. Maybe I'll redo it, or if I don't like the shape, or if they're too big or too small. There's always a good positioning. Sometimes they can look kind of funky if you put the eyes too close, too far. They don't look too real. I want it to be something kind of cute. So at that point I was happy with it. I went ahead and dotted it, and then put a little tiny dab of glue and put the eyes on it, just to make sure everything's aligned and well, and then you can reapply some Sharpie on there if by manipulating them it got some off. So there, I was pretty happy with it, and it took me, I think, a total of maybe 3.5 hours actually. I want to thank everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!